Now, Prince Harry has revealed that he was forced to leave the UK 3 years ago as he battles with the Home Office in the High Court.
Well, the Duke of Sussex is challenging the decision to downgrade his publicly funded security detail after he quit as a working royal back in 2020. Joining us now from Los Angeles is royal commentator Kinsey Schofield. Kinsey, good morning.
Good morning. Good to see you. I got...
Excellent.
Well
I'm delighted. Kinsey, is this just more of what we've heard before, or actually is Prince Harry slightly changing his story?
Well, that's a great question. I feel like he's exaggerating it a bit because a year ago at this time, as we're getting ready for Catherine and her Christmas concert, the royal family was having to deal with Harry and Meghan's Netflix series, where Harry said to the cameras that he felt bullied by Prince William, and that's why he chose to leave step down as a member of the royal family, step down and move to the United States of America. He also said he did it because he felt like that's something his mother, Princess Diana, would do. So I do feel like there's been an evolution in this story. It's become a little bit more aggressive. The only way I can see him truly feeling forced out of the royal family is the Frogmore eviction, which, you can rent a new place, go rent another place if you want to have a home in the UK.
I mean, it seems to me that Harry doesn't know the meaning of the word truth. He seems to change his story every single time he is in the public domain. Also, surely, if he's a non-working royal, then surely he shouldn't be afforded protection paid for us, the taxpayer, in this country. We didn't force him out. The royal family actually didn't force him out. That's what they say. They say they were shocked when they made that decision to leave.
Not just shocked, but Harry and Meghan had plans. They strategized their exit. They had purchased multiple domains. They had secured multiple social media handles. I mean, Harry and Meghan were slowly planning this behind the scenes while they were in Canada over the holidays, shortly before they announced their exit. I think that Ravik's getting kind of I think that they are saying that it's a case-by-case basis. They're not saying, Harry, you're on your own, figure it out. They're saying, if you want to come over, we're going to look at your circumstances and we'll determine whether or not you get the security that you want. They're not saying that he is constantly in jeopardy and he's always going to be alone. They're just saying, could you give us a heads up and we'll determine based on what your plans are, how or if we're going to protect you. And I think that that's fair.
I think that there are a lot of people who are more sympathetic with Harry in this instance than a lot of the other Harry and Meghan stories, because they kind of think, well, it's not his fault that he was born a prince and that his father is now the king, and there are security issues, and why should he not get the full security? Interesting, though, Kinsey, to have a look at what the other royals have been up to in the last 24 hours or so, and lots of pictures on the front pages of today's newspapers, both of the king, but particularly of Kate Middleton. She's put out a photo yesterday about this carol concert that's now, obviously she does it every Christmas. She gets very good publicity for it. I wonder how you see that juxtaposition of the positive pictures of Kate in the papers and the press compared to the slightly more negative coverage of Harry.
Right, this business as usual, but also I just here in the States on BritBox watched last year's concert, and I'm not kidding when I tell you I teared up as Prince William read a passage from the Bible. I think there is something so enchanting about watching the royal family at Christmas time. This is really their time to shine. And their focus is unity and strength and hope for the future. So I do think that they are overshadowing some of the negativity that kind of surrounds the Duke and Duchess of Sussex by keeping their focus on the future, keeping their focus on the tasks at hand, and really jumping, I hate to sound cheesy, but really just thrusting themselves into the holiday spirit, because we all love to see it and we want to be in the mix too.
Well, you'll be delighted to know on page 3 of the Express this morning, the King is delighted because he is actually on Santa's nice list. And this is the point, isn't it, Kinsey, that actually here we have working royals going about their daily tasks and actually behaving impeccably. And when you juxtapose that with Harry and Meghan, it's just noises off all the time.
I know. Do you remember the Queen's famous line when she's talking about the Annus Horribius? It truly feels like that is Harry and Meghan's year. Between their losing their Spotify gig, this 3-hour car chase that literally the city of New York laughed in their face about, NYPD saying they got from point A to B, things were fine. They've had a bad year, and the royal family, despite some of the chaos with Endgame and the Harry and Meghan, they seem to be ending on a high note, and that has to be hard for the Sussexes. I feel like they need to shift their focus to the future as well, and they might find a little success there.
Kinsey, I was working with some Americans last week, and I took the opportunity to ask them what they thought of Harry and Meghan. And what really struck me was how insignificant they thought, particularly Meghan was. There was a sort of general shrug of the shoulders.
Really?
And they were almost saying that Meghan's not even that famous. She's not that box office in the States, certainly compared to here. And they were saying that Harry's more box office and more famous because he's an actual prince than Meghan is. And I thought, gosh, that's going to sting.
Well, and I think that that's why we saw only Meghan sign with William Morris Endeavor. She's the one that needs help to elevate herself. And her marriage to Harry did elevate her, but their constant complaining, I think, has jeopardized their brand here in the States. So, she's been signed with William Morris Endeavor since April. Now reports are coming out that Endgame has, kind of deteriorated that relationship with them, because they're saying, how can we present you to brands when you look so destructive, guilt by association with this Omid Scobie book. But I do think that you're correct, that Meghan needs Harry for relevancy, and that they've got to be more positive going forward and acknowledge their blessings for people to be enthusiastic and invested in them again.
Yeah, really, really interesting. Kinsey, as ever, thank you very much indeed. Now,